All right, here we go. My name's Jeff K, and you're listening to episode 326 of the world-famous West Virginia Surf Report podcast.
Good boy, my ass.
So Toney hit a deer the other day, driving home from work. She was just driving along, do-de-do-de-do, minding her own business. You know, who knows what she was thinking about, and a deer just appeared out of nowhere, standing right in front of her, right in front of her car. She had no time to maneuver, which they say you're not supposed to anyway, so she just drove straight into the thing. Bashed in the front of the car. Luckily, it didn't go through the windshield or something. But it knocked out one of the headlights, and there's some damage. It's not extensive. That kind of crap is scary. Those things are. What is their deal? I mean, what is happening? I mean, I guess this isn't something new, but it seems like I don't. What are they thinking? I mean, I know they're probably not geniuses. These wild deer, but why in the world would you just jump out in the middle of a road? I mean, am I giving them too much credit? But anyway, that was scary. It could have been disastrous. I mean, people get killed. Those things come through the windshield. People try to swerve around them and they roll their car and stuff. I mean, that's no good. I mean, every time I go out this time of year, it worries me because they're out and about. They're out leaping around. You see them standing up in the woods. Sometimes you look up in the woods and you see those shining eyes. I'm like, what the? It's like some kind of horror film, And they'll just jump right out in front of you. But anyway, she's fine. The car's, messed up. But we already filed a claim, and we filed a police report and all that jazz. We're going to have it fixed after the holiday. We're going to take a look at it and see what they can do to it. So that happened. You ever hit a deer? I saw it one time. I was on Interstate 81 driving home from work, and I was in the right lane. There was somebody slightly ahead of me in the left lane. We were traveling at a pretty good clip, and that happened again on the interstate. And this deer just leaps out of nowhere, and the guy that's slightly ahead of me in the left lane hits the thing just full on, hit it so hard the thing just turned into it was like vapor, It just turned, there was blood and fur raining down on my car. It just turned, it was a full-blown deer, and then it was just mist. He hit the thing so hard, the thing was just mist. And when I got home, there was, it was like just gore. My car is just covered in gore, That shit is scary, I don't care for that crap. I don't need wildlife jumping into the road. The other day I was out somewhere, I was dropping the older boy off somewhere, and a gigantic wild turkey ran out in front of me, and I had to slam on the brakes. What is this? Where are we living? What's all this? What's all this wildlife out in the middle of the roads? I don't know. I guess you could argue that it's their land. We're the ones that are encroaching on their land. Some people would say that, assholes. I wouldn't. Did I tell you we have to buy a new roof? We have to have a new roof installed. That makes me sad, and it makes me nervous because it's going to cost many thousands. God. So that's probably going to knock all our vacations out for the rest of the year. I don't know. We're not going to probably do anything else. That Myrtle Beach trip that we just had, that's probably going to be it for this year. Except for maybe little quickie day trips, but we're not going to be able to do that. Cincinnati trip we had planned, we had other things planned. It's all going to go into a roof. I don't like spending money to get back to where you were, I like spending money. I like spending money to get something new, to improve your situation, not to get back to where you already were. That's bullshit. Like when you have to buy like a new washing machine or something, that's crap. That's no good. That's just money to get back to. You're not achieving anything. You're not moving the ball. The ball is staying the same place, but you're spending a bunch of money. You're spending a bunch of money. Anyway, we're in the process. We're gonna have to get a home equity loan. It's gonna cost us a shitload of money, and oh god, the whole thing makes me nervous. But that's gonna happen. In the last episode, Patreon, I mentioned that I'm watching all these airport movies. There's 4 of them. The first one was from 1970. And the first 3 of them are on Netflix. And I watched Airport, which is supposed to be the best one. I mean, that thing was nominated for Best Picture. That's, man, that's pushing it. It's not good. How can you say that's good? That thing's stupid, right? How could that be like Best Picture nominee? Airport. All right. I mean, it's like a soap opera. I don't know. The second one was completely ludicrous, Airport 75. I mean, that thing was that thing's ridiculous. But it was entertaining, more entertaining than the first one. That second one was entertaining. That was fun, It was completely stupid, And then the third one, Airport 77, that's the one where they end up on the bottom of the ocean. Everybody's alive. but the plane is sitting on the bottom of the ocean. Everybody's alive in that thing. So I'm trying to figure out how to get that. First of all, they can't find the thing, and then when they locate it, they don't know how to. If you can't just open a door. The whole ocean. The thing will just crumble like a beer can or something. So they'd figure out what they're going to do. That one also completely ridiculous and ludicrous. But they have like all these. The thing about these what do you call them? Disaster films. They're loaded with like stars. Some of them and one of those, I think it was the second one. They had all these silent film stars on there, like Myrna Loy and people like that on there, and it's so much fun. I just enjoy it. They're not good, but they're entertaining. Especially the second one. The second one is, I would say, it's the best one. Okay, fast forward to the last one, Airport 79, the Concorde. Now that I had to pay money for that. And it was the worst one by far. I watched that last night. That thing is a piece of shit. It's like really bad. And I had to pay $3.99 to rent that thing, and through Amazon. That thing sucks, and it wasn't even that entertaining. That one's by far the worst. At least the first 3 are fun to watch. This thing's so ludicrous. It's hilarious. It's making me laugh and all that. This thing, okay, I wrote down this line. There was a line in this thing. The writing was terrible. There's this character, George Kennedy plays. He's in all 4 of them. And Toney, I think is his name. In the first movie, he had 5 kids, and he was like the head of the maintenance department for an airline. The second movie, he had 1 kid, there's no continuity. His wife had a different name, and he was the vice president. He went from the maintenance department to vice president of the airline. The third movie, he was barely in it, and I think he was working for some billionaire who was what's his name? I don't know. He's working for some billionaire. He wasn't even working for the airline. And this new one, the most recent one, 79. What was he doing? Oh, he was a pilot. He was a pilot on the Concorde. What the hell's that? Isn't that French? Isn't the Concorde English or something like Britain? He was he went from head of the maintenance department to vice president of the airline. Every movie has different numbers of kids, and his wife has a different name. and then he was working directly for Jimmy Stewart, who's a billionaire, and then he's a pilot, a pilot of the Concorde. Okay. And he had a whole different personality. He was like making all kinds of sexual jokes, like what the? It's like totally different than the previous. And this woman comes up there in this new movie, or I keep calling it new. It's the latest one, 79. And he says, she makes some kind of comment about there's too many men up here or something. He goes, that's why they call it a cockpit, baby. I said, what the? But listen to this line. All right, this is a line that when I heard it, I was like, God, who wrote this garbage? It's like this woman, I think it's George Kennedy. He's talking to some, he's out there seducing all these stewardesses or something. He's talking to this stewardess and says, I don't remember exactly who it was, but it said the line was, "You haven't changed at all. You're even more beautiful than ever." What do you think about that? How's that for writing? You haven't changed at all. You're even more beautiful than ever. So if you're more beautiful, you changed, right? Right? Does that kind of stuff bug you? That's stupid. How in the hell does that get written into a multi-million-dollar script? How could they get? You haven't changed at all. You're even more beautiful than ever. Meaning you changed. Oh God! The thing there's a scene in this thing where there's fighter jets trying to shoot down this Concorde, and the guy's like maneuvering this thing like he's having a dogfight in World War I. It's like this gigantic supersonic jet. He's like weaving and bobbing. The thing's just like I don't think those things are that nimble. The Concorde. And then at one point he rolls down the window like he's in a Chevy Nova. He's up in the sky. He's in an airplane. He rolls down the window and shoots a flare gun out the window, and the thing locks on to the flare, like because it's shooting rockets at the Concorde. He's trying to confuse the tracking system in this thing. So he rolls the window down like he's driving a Chevette or something, and shoots. I don't think you can shoot. Can you shoot? Well, first of all, can you roll the window down in an airplane? In the cockpit. I mean, why would you be able to do that? I mean, those things don't. And then he shoots a flare gun out the side of the thing. Has Jimmy J.J. Walker in it, smoking dope. He's wearing sunglasses. He's like a dope smoke. He goes into the bathroom and smoking weed in there. He's got a saxophone with him everywhere he goes. And he's like, "Hey, baby," he's like Mr. Cool Cat. And he's like stoned all the time. Thing's ridiculous. It's got Mr. Douglas from Green Acres on there. It's got Charo. Oh, it's a star-studded. Thing is ridiculous. Thing is the most, and it wasn't even that entertaining. It sounds the way I describe it. You might think it's entertaining, but it's not good. The worst one. So I watched all 4 of them. I tried to do that with Jaws, and then I only watched the first 2. I never got to the last 2. But I think in that 4th one, I think the thing develops ESP. The thing can read people's thoughts, the shark, I mean, and it can it starts out in the Atlantic Ocean, somehow ends up in the Pacific Ocean. I don't know how it does that. Maybe it's teleporting, and the thing stands up in the water like a cobra. Oh, man. So I need to do that again. None of the Jaws movies are on streaming services anywhere right now, but if they become available again, I'm going to power through those 4. I love that kind of stuff. I love 70s disaster films and that kind of thing, especially the bad ones, although they need to be entertaining like Airport 75. They don't need to be kind of boring like Airport 79, the Concorde. Oh, brother. So anyway, let's see, the beer festival. Toney and I last Saturday, a week ago today, we went to a beer festival up in New York State, where the Woodstock concert originally, where that happened. And it was something else, We caught the bus over where the old Kmart is over in Dixon City. You with me? And we went, and it was packed. The bus was full. There's a lot of people involved in this thing. We go up there, and it took like an hour and 10 minutes or something. It didn't take very long. I had no idea it was so close. I mean, we've been living here for 23 years. I had no idea. There's so much stuff within an easy drive from us that I don't know, we've never done before. I mean, I want to go back up there. I want to go through the Woodstock Museum and all that. But anyway, we caught the bus over there, and we went. It was like 11:15, I think, in the morning. And we drove up there, and they opened the gates at 1:30 in the afternoon. And we had to wait. We were standing out there. It was kind of misting rain. It wasn't a beautiful day, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't pouring, but it was gray and overcast. And sometimes it was misting rain. It was kind of cold. That's fine by me. I mean, it wasn't enough to ruin anything. But we had to wait. We were there, way before the gates opened. Got in line. They went through, and guess what? Toney got yanked out of line, and they wanded her down. Do you think that thing I told you about where she always gets pulled out of line at the airport because she was playing around with firecrackers 5, 6, 7 years ago, and I think she set off some kind of an explosion alarm or something, some kind of, I think she's flagged in the system as a threat, as like the American Taliban. Toney is the American Taliban, according to the, what do you call it, TSA? Was that what it is? TNA? No, TSA. But so every time, without exception, without fail, she gets yanked out of the line when we're getting on an airplane, and they do a search and they put chemicals on her hands to make sure that she gets extra attention every single time without exception. So, and then when we went through the line at this beer festival, they yanked her out of line and took her to the side and like patted her down and stuff. What the hell? I mean, how is this for the rest of her life? I mean, I don't know. It might have been a coincidence. I don't know if they just do, every fifth person or whatever. I hadn't seen anybody else getting that treatment, but she got it. And so anyway, that was crazy. And they give you a little glass. I think it's 6 ounces or 7 ounces. And you can just go. They have all these stands set up. I mean, it just went on and on. It's beautiful setting. Oh, beautiful. And they said there was over 100 breweries there, all from New York State. And you can just test. You can just drink, drink as much as you want. It's free. They do have food trucks and stuff, which is not free. It's not part of it, but there's food there too. And they have a stage. God, there's a big stage out there. The Wailers, Bob Marley's band, played that day. The next day, Sunday, they had Blues Traveler, right? So the Wailers were playing, and you just go from stand to stand and try out whatever you want. And you see, they have, each one of them probably has like 4, 5, 6 different beers to choose from. Some of them only have 2. And it's all different breweries from all. And I know a thing or two about craft beer, and I'd never heard of probably 95% of these places. I don't know. I never heard of them. I knew some of them, but almost all of them I'd never heard of before. And it was fun. I mean, it was so much fun. We started out and we were getting a beer at, those little 6 ounces at every stand. And then we were like, oh, we can't do this. I mean, the thing just goes on and on and on. I mean, I'd be leaving in an ambulance if I went to every one of them. So we started picking and choosing. I mean, at first we were just hitting every one of them. And then we started picking and choosing. And, I was writing down everyone. I was trying to. And then at the end, there were a couple of them that I messed up. And I didn't write down the name of the beer. I wrote down the brewery, but I didn't write down, because I already had a lot of beer. So my notes are pretty good, but they're not perfect. I might, I don't know if you guys give a crap, but I might post on Surf Report Pod every beer that I tried. It's maybe if you're a beer snob like I am, it might be interesting. I don't know, but anyway, there was a woman there. Oh, I got some great pictures. There were people there wearing. They were selling pretzel necklaces. They were like a necklace, and with a whole bunch of pretzels around it. Like you wear it around your neck. You just have like a necklace, like a necklace of pretzels. And then some people had a necklace that had snacks, like bags of chips and stuff, attached to a necklace. And then we saw this woman who was wearing a sash of cheese sticks and pepperoni sticks. It's like a what do you call those things? Like a full of bullets, like a sash of bullets. What is that thing called? A bandolero or something? It's like, but it was full of cheese sticks and pepperoni sticks. And then she also had like a tool belt of pretzel sticks and like spray cheese, like aerosol cheese, you know what I mean? Whatever it's called. And in a tool belt. I've got pictures of it, I was laughing so hard. Toney goes, "Oh my God, there's a woman over there with a sash of cheese sticks." That's a sentence you don't, And I snapped some photos. Oh, I'll share those. It was hilarious. Everybody's real nice and everybody's having a good time. How could you not have a good time when it's just a sea of free beer from all these craft breweries? They're all from New York. So we did that. We had lunch. We ate twice while we were there, and then we thought we were finished, and then we found two gigantic buildings, two additional buildings that we didn't even know were there, and those two were loaded up with them too, with stands. Crazy. By that point, I was like, all right, I've had enough. We went into those buildings. I might have had one in each one of them, because it looked like something especially interesting to me. But I was done, man. I think I had 28, 28 of those small. That seems like a lot, but that's what I mean. I have everything written down. I don't know if those were 6 ounces. I don't know. They might have been 4 ounces. I don't know. I was. It might have been 4 ounces. Those glasses. I'm not sure, but. I wasn't drunk, but I could certainly feel it. I had 28 of those things. It reminded me in the early days of like the first season of Happy Days, when Richie comes home drunk, and his dad's like, "What happened? What happened?" He goes, "I was at a party and they were serving beer in these tiny little glasses. It was just in these tiny little glasses." He goes, "How many of those glasses did you have?" He said, 72. For some reason, I remember that. That was back when the Happy Days was pretty good, had a little bit of edge to it. And then it became a ludicrous, ridiculous show where people didn't even, it's supposed to be in the 50s and everybody had like 70s haircuts and stuff. They didn't even try, they forgot the part about being the 50s, Anyway, so that was fun. That was a blast. I mean, we had such a good time. We're going to try to do that every year, I think. We're going to try to do that. So yeah, that was good. If you ever have an opportunity to do something like that, you should do it. I'm going to post some pictures. I'll try to post that long list of beers that we tried, either at Surf Report Pod or maybe over at the WBSR. I don't know. But I'll put that up soon so you can check it out. Let's see. I was going to do some news items. Let's do. This might be something. I might do like 3 news items an episode. Maybe if it works. So yeah. Let's do that now. I have 3 news items that I picked. These are from the headlines right now. These are important headlines right now. I read this article about this guy. He says, Duluth landlord charged with intentionally setting apartment ablaze while blasting "We didn't start the fire." So this guy's like he's like a lunatic, right? But he's like some kind of like, performance artist. I don't know. So he sets his apartment on fire, and when the fire department gets there, this is in Duluth, Minnesota. When the fire department gets there, he's just standing there blasting "We didn't start the fire." What What do you think about that? This guy's got a little bit of panache. I don't know what to say. The guy's he's crazy, clearly. Who sets an apartment on fire? But I like the little, I like the irony, the, what do you call that? Meta. He's very, if you're going to be an arson, take a meta approach to it. So it says Duluth landlord has been charged. Oh, he's a landlord. It's his own. Okay, I thought he lived there. He's been charged with setting fire to his own apartment while blasting Billy Joel's "We Didn't Start the Fire" as first responders arrived. Travis Lee Carlson, 37, is charged with first-degree arson after prosecutors say he intentionally set his apartment ablaze on Thursday, May 18th. Okay, that song sucks. Billy Joel, I don't hate him or anything. But his 70s stuff was, that was the pinnacle. When he started doing that crap like Uptown Girl and all that, oh, God, that's terrible. And this, "We Didn't Start the Fire," it's an abomination. That thing should be, I don't know. That's like one of the worst songs I ever recorded. Thing's it's a chunk of turd. The next one, did you see where Celine Dion canceled her scheduled tour, because she has... what is it called? Let's see. What is it called? Let me read this thing. Human statue syndrome. Have you ever heard of this? She has human statue syndrome, where she is like trapped inside of her body. She can't move, or she's trending in that direction. It's getting worse and worse. And she's like, is this? I'm like, what the hell? What kind of bizarre? Anything that you could think of? Like, what in the world is this? How does this happen? How does somebody get human statue syndrome? And why would if she has this thing where she's just a statue? Why would she like book a tour? I mean, what are they gonna do? Bring her out on a hand truck? I don't want to make light of it. But what the hell? There's so many bizarre ailments and syndromes out there. I never heard of this before. I just saw that today, and I was like, what in the hell? It's also called, what is it called? Stiff person syndrome. It has multiple names. Stiff person syndrome. Human statue syndrome. It sounds terrifying to be stuck inside of your body and you can't move. I guess it's just paralysis, right? But why? It's not based on any kind of injury. It's just it says complications from stiff person syndrome, a rare neurological condition that causes spasms and muscle rigidity, have caused singer Celine Dion to cancel her Courage World Tour dates through 2024, according to a statement posted Friday. All right, well, good luck with that. I don't know. I don't know. I hope I don't get that shit. That's all I can say. This sounds terrible. But I never heard of it before. It's bizarre. Have you ever? What's the weirdest syndrome that you've ever heard of? I never heard of this one. Human statue syndrome. This third item. Okay. Fart spray prank at Texas high school leads to criminal charges for 2 students. An odor at Caney Creek High School on May 3rd and 4th prompted evacuations, hospitalizations, and extensive testing at the campus. Officials now believe the spray was the source. 2 students have been criminally charged after allegedly bringing fart spray, that's in quotes, to their Texas high school this month. A prank that led to evacuations, hospitalizations, and canceled classes. Diego Flores and a boy, 17, were both charged with possession of a prohibited weapon, a third-degree felony. A weapon? Fart spray? That's like that Morning Breeze that they used to sell at, like, joke stores. And you just, like, sprinkle a little on the floor, and the whole place would be going, oh, my God! This is a prank, right? After authorities said they intentionally or knowingly possessed a chemical dispensing device. What the hell? It's a prank. It's something they sell in joke stores, according to court reports. 17-year-olds not being identified because NBC News does not usually have... No, whatever. Oh, yeah, they're high. They have their standards over at NBC News. give me a break. A strange odor at Caney Creek High School on May 3rd and 4th prompted extensive testing. They just say the same thing over and over again. These articles just say the same thing. Anyway, so these guys, it's graduation time. They're having fun. They're going to bring this fart spray in. It's going to be funny, and they're going to be talking about this shit for the rest of your life. Now there's people saying it's going to leave a psychological scarring. People are in the hospital. God, hilarious and ridiculous. These guys are probably going to be either. I mean, back in my day, these guys would be legends. They would be never forgotten. This would be their legacy. This would be their golden legacy. In today's environment, they'll probably have to leave the country. Maybe they'll have, at least the state. I don't know, even in Texas, because this is a bridge too far. You can't bring a fart spray. Do you know how scarring and triggering that is? Oh. Anyway, so I thought I'd maybe I'll do news reports in these episodes. I do have two. It's going to end up being way too long, but I do have two calls that came in to the hotline. And the first one is from Steve, and here it is.
Hey, Jeff. This is Steve from NEPA, your backyard there, around that area. Hey, that last episode really hit home with television. Sorry, the dog's barking. From the television, I had all those games, too, and Night Stalker was fun. Like, when you shot the machines, they would blow up, and you'd see all, like, the cogs and stuff and different parts of the machines blow up. Burger Time was another great one. But skiing and baseball were probably my favorite, along with Burger Time. They were definitely my favorite. The other thing is typing. Typing was huge in high school, too. I did that, and I still use it all the time, so that was huge. And those cinnamon sticks, we had them at the Bloomsburg Fair. We had to get those cinnamon sticks, and sometimes you'd give your friends money if you knew they were going to the fair and you weren't. They'd bring them back for you. And the last thing I had was Beta. We were into Beta instead of VHS because my father had a handheld camera that he put actually the whole cassette in, and my dad wouldn't let us use it. So when he was away at work, we'd sneak it out and we'd do tricks on the bike and stuff, and then quick put it back into his bag, but we'd have that tape to watch. And I think we only got caught once or twice. So, but good stuff. Enjoying that. Yeah. One more thing. We had a store not too far from us, but we'd come in with bags and bags of pennies, and we'd slam them down on the counter and say, "I'd like 100 fishies," So then you'd take your grubby hand, you'd pick out 100 of those Swedish fish and put them in your bag. Just how gross now thinking of that, but that was great times. So really enjoying the show, and thanks for making me laugh, and have a great day. Thanks.
Stephen NEPA. NEPA, in case you're not aware, is northeastern Pennsylvania, NEPA. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for calling, Steve. And television, yeah. I forgot about the night. You were talking about the Night Stalker when it would explode the cogs and stuff, and the springs and stuff would fly. I forgot about that. I love that. That was the best. Night Stalker. And another one I forgot to mention, which I don't know, this might be a little bit more obscure, but another one that I really loved was called, what was it called? Lock and Chase. Do you remember that? Does anybody remember that? It was along the lines of what do you call it? What do you call that thing? Pac-Man. It's along the lines of Pac-Man, but you could throw up a lock Imagine Pac-Man, and you're being chased by one of those ghosts or whatever, but you could throw up throw up like a barrier, and they would get stuck behind it, so you could lock them out. It's called Lock and Chase. It was fun too. That was a good one. I forgot about that one. I didn't mention that when I was talking about it in television. God, I can't even remember. How could you not remember these things? God, what is wrong with me? Anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah. I like Night Stalker, and I like Lock and Chase. I forgot the cinnamon sticks. Heck yeah, that's a 70s 80s thing. I don't know. They had those at the fair, you say? Yeah, I had those. I used to buy those things and suck on them, and I don't know. So, yeah. Seems like something for the 1800s, doesn't it? It's like eating some 1800s candy, and it's not even candy. Let's see. What else you say? Oh, Beta. Yeah, we didn't have that. We barely. My brother had perhaps one of the very first VCRs. He bought that thing when he graduated high school in 1982. Not too many people had VCRs, and it cost a fortune. That thing was huge. I think you had to hook like a water line up to it. I'm not 100% sure. It was a water-driven unit. And, I don't know. I mean, the thing was gigantic. It was one of those ones that the thing would lift up on top, You didn't put it into the front of it. It had like a thing that lifted up. You stick the tape in there. He recorded all kinds of stuff. He has tapes, and I don't know, he has a shitload of tapes. And mixed in there is some stuff I'd like to see, And I don't know, I think he started half looking through them to search. There was this record. I won this thing called a record run. There's this record store in Charleston called Budget Tapes and Records, still there. And I entered this contest, and I won. And I had a 105-second record run. Like I'd run around the store. This is before the store opened in the morning, so there's no customers there. And because it was sponsored by FM 105, which is the rock station in town. So I had 105 seconds to run around the store and grab as many LPs as I could. However, there were rules that made it more difficult. You can only have up to 3 albums by one artist. So you couldn't just go over there and grab like the Led Zeppelin section, I mean, you had to, they did put some limitations on it. So, and it was on the news, right? They had the news there. So there's this, he has the news report recorded on these old VCR tapes. And I remember the news report had film of me running around inside the store, and they sped the tape up real fast, and the thing was going or something like that. It was like some kind of Benny Hill type shit, and I was just like bouncing around, bopping around the record store. I'd love to have that. I need to have that, and I think he might have it. He recorded everything. He recorded all kinds of stuff. It was like something. It was like one of those mind-blowing things. How could you record something while you're watching something else? That's like voodoo, Never had a beta tape though. We never had that. And we never had like any kind of like camcorder. I don't think our family ever had that. But I like the idea of sneaking it out and recording stuff. It's cool. I wish I had some tapes of us doing our nonsense. And the Swedish Fish, putting your booger hooks down to into a big bucket of Swedish fish. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that happen. Filthy, God only knows what's on your hands. After a day of just being a boy out in the neighborhood, doing boy things, and then you just drop those filthy booger hooks down into that thing, and it's just a communal thing. Yeah, that sounds right. So, Steve, I appreciate you calling. Call back, anytime. Appreciate it. Great call. And this last one, the second one, is from our old pal Ian in Scotland. And here it is.
Hey, Jeff, it's Ian in Scotland here. A couple of things for you, Jeff. Off the back of your living in two worlds. So, I'm back working in a bar in Scotland called the Speedwell Bar in Dundee. It's really cool. But, however, I am the oldest member of staff now. I worked there 10 years ago when I went back to university to do a science degree. So anyway, there's a big age gap. And round the back there's a hatch which covers the stairs down into the cellar. So sometimes the hatch is open, you've got to kind of do this death-defying manoeuvre to get into the back stockroom, instead of lowering the hatch and walking over where the stairs are. Anyway, so I'm describing this saying, yeah man, sometimes you got to go to the back storeroom and it's like Lara Croft manoeuvre getting into the back storeroom. And my staff members just met me with a blank stare. Like, I said, you know who Lara Croft is? No. I was like, come on, Tomb Raider? No. So like, a lot of my gags now have no frame of reference. Have no frame of reference with the younger generation. And they're missing out a lot of good humour, I think. Yeah, it makes me feel old. Also, I am off to Seville in Spain tomorrow because my girlfriend has retired. That seems like an oxymoron I've said there. Yeah, my girlfriend has retired. Yeah, that makes me feel a bit old, but we're both pretty cool. I mean, she retired early. She's 53, so yeah, good on her. So she's retired, and I'm still at school. Get that. So yeah, I'll be posting some pics on the old Instagram site, so keep an eye out. Okay, mate, take care, and I will speak to you when I return from Spain. Adios, amigo.
All right, Ian, thank you. Congratulations on going back to school. It's awesome. And you're back working an old job that you had before in a bar. I don't think I've ever returned to a job. I was thinking about that when I was listening to your call there. I don't think I've ever returned to a job that I left prior. That must be kind of disorienting. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. I understand what you're saying. I'm the oldest man. I'm the oldest person in every room. Every room that I'm in, I'm the oldest person there. And that's not even, I mean, it's sort of a joke, but it's almost certainly true. I mean, my boss is like 2 years older than me. She's talking about retirement. So when I'm in the room, she's, technically, older than me, but I'm almost always. I look around like we're having like dinner. The other night we ordered tacos from this Mexican restaurant. Frickin' fantastic. God. But anyway, and I was sitting there. We're eating around this big conference table in the supervisor's office. Look around. I'm like, I could be some of those people in there. I could probably be their dad. I'm like old enough to be their dad. I'm the oldest person in every room. Nobody knows my references, so I try to like back off from them because I've been burned too many times. If you make any kind of reference to anything that's not from like the last 5 years, people don't know what the hell you're talking about. So I just I've disciplined myself not to do that anymore. I understand what you're saying, but I hate to admit this. I didn't know who Lara Croft was. I don't know anything about that, but I get the gist of what you're saying. Yeah, you can't do it. I told you some girl when I was getting my hair cut, and I was like, "Yikes!" And she was like, "I don't know that phrase." What do you mean, yikes? Is that I don't know. That's something different though. I also say, anyway. You can't make, I don't want to get into it, but you can't make any kind of reference. My age, anyway, I can't make any kind of references anymore because I'm from a different era. I'm a creature from a different era. Nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about, so I kind of steer clear of it. I know what you're saying. Let's see. You're going to Seville in Spain. I've been seeing those pictures. Holy mackerel. Beautiful. You're a pretty damn good photographer, too. You're really good. It was, I kind of pride myself on being a halfway decent photographer. And, I think I know how to frame pictures pretty well. But you're also very good at it. And, and it's beautiful. Beautiful. I'd love to do that. We need to travel more. If we didn't just pour all our money into these roofs, shit like that, I'd love to go to Spain. God, beautiful. I'm living vicariously through you, Ian. I'm going to post, if you don't have a problem with it, I'm going to post your Instagram account. I'm going to link to it in the show notes, or on Surf Report Pod so people can see those photos too. Beautiful. Wonderful place. I'd love to go there. So thanks for calling, Ian. I do appreciate it always. Everybody has an open invitation. So give me a call. The number, 570-290-8151. So thanks to Ian. Thanks for Steve and NEPA. Appreciate the calls. Fantastic. All right, we're at the end of this thing, and let's see. This is main network. I don't know. I can't keep it straight. My brain's fried and burned out. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so if you want 2 of these a week instead of a measly one, head on over to Surf Report Pod. No, God, do you see what I'm saying? The degradation is taking hold. Head on over to Patreon. That's Patreon, Patreon. God. Patreon, patreon.com/JeffK, and sign up for a $4 or more monthly donation, and you'll get an extra episode every week. I've been a little off track because of the shit that's going on here, which I can't talk about it. I wish I could, but I can't. But I think it'll be all right. Hope. We'll see. But anyway, I generally do one of each week. So if you want to get that second episode, which is a full-length episode, head on over to patreon.com/JeffK and sign up for a monthly donation. $4 will do it. You can do more if you want, and that's that. Also, surfreportpod.com is the website where I post expanded show notes and all that jazz, photographs, links. This is going to have plenty of them. It's going to take me a long time to get all that stuff posted, so head on over to surfreportpod.com. And again, call me. 570-290-8151. That's the number. 24 hours a day. It's just voicemail. It's Google Voice, they call it. Just call up that number and leave a message, and I will almost certainly use it in a future episode. If you do post something, or if you do call and you don't like it, just let me know. I won't use it. No pressure, man. I'm not going to embarrass anybody. So the number again, 570-290. 570-290-8151. And we're at the end of this thing. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Next time we'll be over on the Patreon side. And until then, you guys have yourselves a fine, fine day. I'll see you. Bye. That's why they call it a cockpit, baby.